gonna have to be pretty good. I mean, granted, we're pretty good, but
I mean, we're amazing.
you know,
right.
we just need
Ready?
a better market. Yeah, I'm ready, man. Hello.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Chris and Scott's Music Spot. I'm Chris still,
And I'm Scott.
and we're awesome.
Uh,
Today we're going to talk about our old band, Chapter 11. We tried it before, but something happened with the audio, and you couldn't hear me, which some of you would probably enjoy.
yeah, you should have put it up.
That is how me and Scott met through this band.
Yeah.
It started out with me and this guy Bryce and Joe Wood.
So the name of the band was the name of the band before I joined, before
No.
me and Mike joined. Okay.
The name of the band
Start
back
with
then,
that.
it was called Internal Explosion.
That's right.
Because Bryce somehow in his mind thought that an internal explosion was actually an explosion. Internal explosion. No, it was an implosion. Something weird. I don't know.
It was implode. Yeah, right. An
Internal explosion
was
was
an
actually
implosion.
an implosion, or I don't know, some
Yeah.
weird. And I was like, whatever, dude.
I remember him talking about that.
Yeah, I was like, dude, whatever. It's still a dumb name. We should name it. But it was me on guitar and this guy Joe Wood on bass. Bryce was doing vocals, and we had a drum track that we played to. This guy Randy Furr played to. He recorded it before he moved to Wilmington, North Carolina. He recorded it for us. We had like 5 songs we just played to this drum track.
Oh, so he laid down the bed track of the drums, and then you guys played to it.
Yeah,
in layers, multi-tracked.
Yeah, he laid down the drums, and Joe Wood already had bass lines for everything, but they didn't have any guitar parts. And Bryce had vocals. So I just came in and just played stuff. And
oh, all right. Because that's how Mike and I learned the songs. From that, whatever you recorded. Yeah.
Oh, what we gave you was different. That wasn't the same thing.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Continue.
You probably never even heard these songs.
Right.
But
I think I have. I really
There was 4. No, you did. You heard Variations, because that was one of them.
Okay.
There was 4 or 5 songs we did. I can't remember any of the names except for Variations. And I mean, that's what we did. That was the first band, probably that I played guitar in. Every other band I was in, I was the singer.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that was your first guitar playing band that you played guitar in.
Yeah. I mean, we'd do stuff like jamming in other bands that I was in, and I'd do stuff. But yeah, that was my first.
Your first organized band.
Mm-hmm. Yep. First organized guitar band.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah. And then after all that, Joe Wood.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I'm just making sure you're not missing anything. Bass player.
Oh no, there wasn't really much we played a couple parties and stuff when we had an internal explosion, and then Joe Wood left to open a bar in DC somewhere, and
nice.
I can't remember the name of it or anything.
Good call.
And then he also had a cassette tape of him playing the bass line. So it was me and Bryce playing to a track of drums and a track of bass for a long time. And he found we had multiple drummers in and out. We found,
which is typical.
Yeah.
For any band.
And we got a kid named Anthony to play
the bass.
Bass for us.
And I knew who Anthony was back in like the early 90s. He was hanging out at my plug's house. So wherever I would go get my stash from this dude. He had that kind of house where there was always stragglers, people who didn't want to go home. They wanted to
Doesn't
hang out and
surprise me.
bong out and stuff.
That
So
does
they
not
hung out
surprise
at
me
his
at all with Anthony.
right. So yes, and he was always over there like trying to scrounge bong hits from people. Like, hey man, like you'd come over and get a bag, and he'd be like, "Hey man, can I get a pinch of that before you leave?" And you'd be like,
Nice.
"What? Just because you're a nice guy or what?"
He
No,
was something else. I never even knew his last name. I was in the
me
band with
neither.
him for like 3 years. I never knew his last name
I used to, but I can't remember it now. You guys used to call him crackhead. That's all I
because he
know.
was. He was a crackhead.
He was a pothead when I knew him, but that was probably six
That
probably
dude was,
6 years before I met you.
yeah.
So I knew who he was, but I didn't know him. He was younger than me.
Yeah, he was an interesting guy. So I'm sure there's people in and out that I've missed right there, but I mean, that was the gist of it. And then I think we had Mark as our drummer. Also don't know his last name.
Mullen,
But what was that?
Mullen,
That's right,
Mullen.
Mullen, Mark Mullen.
Because
And
a lot of people know his dad
who's his dad?
from Starbucks. It's a
Oh,
Starbucks thing. We'll get to that part of the story.
oh, I thought his dad was like somebody famous and I didn't know.
No, no, no.
Um,
He was just a super fucking cool guy, super nice
okay.
guy.
So on 9/11, we were all jamming together on 9/11, and Anthony worked at the Pentagon. And as
Whoa,
you know, a plane hit the Pentagon. He didn't even
damn.
know. He was on the other side, I guess. But he didn't even know anything was happening. So we were trying to get in touch with him and everything. And we finally do, like 2 days later,
Jesus.
when he just shows up at Bryce's house. And he gets all pissed off because some reason. And he hit Bryce's motorcycle
Put a
with a
dent
pipe.
in it, didn't he?
Yeah, he hit it with a pipe.
In the gas tank, like right on
No,
top.
he punched the gas tank and then he tried to hit Bryce with a pipe. That's what he did.
Okay.
Not like a smoking pipe, like a fucking
Like a
pipe,
right, like a water pipe.
yeah, like a water pipe.
Like a lead pipe.
And so that was the end of Anthony. We kicked him out of the band after that. And
Crackhead.
that's when Mark said he knew a couple guys and brought him over, and it ended up being Scott and this guy Mike Dobbins, who I've been trying to get on here to talk about stuff sometime.
Have you?
I
You've
have.
tried to get no reply?
I haven't gotten anything from him, man. Hope he's not like homeless now.
Like no reply at all.
Nothing.
Gee.
He
Well,
usually replies with something.
huh. Yeah, I don't
Um,
know, man. He's kind of had it rough too because
yeah,
everybody around him passed away. His parents and his brother are gone, and
yeah,
that's his whole family. So,
yeah, exactly.
but we are family still.
We are.
No,
That's right. I got all my sisters and me. No, I don't have sisters. That's a song. Um, so yeah, that's how I
that's
met
good.
Scott. He's like my brother. He's pretty awesome. If there's an awesome scale, I'm like here. He's probably like here.
Yeah, but
No, he's cool.
there's nobody in between,
No,
right?
just my old dog buddy. That's it.
Oh yeah, man, he was fucking awesome. Uh,
um, no,
oh,
so Scott, he has become like my brother that I've never had, and he's awesome.
same, same for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, I remember. So I was in a band with a guy, Jeff Spencer, and Mike Dobbins, and Doug Bradshaw, and we played out a couple of times, and we were playing Jeff's songs, and Jeff was like I would rate him as like a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10 singer wise, maybe a 2.5. But he was the one of the most amazing guitar players I've ever heard. So
I've heard you talk about him. Yeah.
yes, I mean amazing. Actually, one of the most amazing bass players I've ever watched play a bass too. I mean, he
Hmm.
was like he toured with some kind of not real well known band, but it was a country band. I don't have any idea who it was, but it
Okay.
was back in he said it was like the late 70s or something. He was like 18 or something.
Jeez.
And but he was
That's
playing the bass in this
that's
band,
pretty awesome.
and he was awesome at bass. So when when I joined his band, I had been strictly a guitar player my entire life, never really picked up a bass at all. And when I started with him, that was probably 2000. So it was only a year or two before I met you, because I
That's
think
all you've been playing bass?
yeah.
This
Uh,
man right here is a great bass player. Don't
come
let
on.
him fool you.
No. I
Yes,
there's lots of lots of room for improvement,
you
but
got your own style though, man. That's what's that. A lot of people never get that.
I guess I do, yeah. I can hear it too. And I actually almost enjoy playing bass more, but I don't know. I like the control that you have in both situations. So,
Yeah,
so, but then it's
exactly.
hard to keep, it's hard to come up with stuff by yourself like that.
It is. You're right.
Um, but so yeah, I played in this band with Jeff. He was showing me different bass techniques, and um, he didn't show me that much, but he just the like when you play finger style where you have where you rest your thumb to rest your hand, just different stuff. So I picked up a lot of stuff from him, and we ended up recording a 5-song demo at Bias Studio in Springfield,
Okay.
and we had an engineer, Mike Griffith, who was damn good, but he also ended up kind of producing us because we didn't know what we were doing. But but that was pretty cool. So that was the first time I'd ever put bass to a recording. And it to me it sounds pretty damn good. You've heard it, the 7 vibe stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that. It's good.
It's not it's not our style of music, I would say,
Still good.
but it
If I
yeah,
had
it's
any of it,
got
I would put a little clip of it in here, but I don't have any of it. So
and I can't find it. If I find some, I have it somewhere. But if I
I
find
might
it,
have I might have something on one of my computers somewhere.
but we actually went in. We recorded 5 songs. The first song we recorded in one take. We went in. We were all excited. He was like, "All right, I'm gonna get levels, whatever. I'm gonna roll tape. Just play." So he counted down and played the first song. I think it's called "I Can't Wait," and we nailed it. And he was like, "Oh, this is going to be easy." But then, of course, we got to the next song, and then that whole thing went out the window. But it
Oh
was an
yeah.
experience, like a really good learning experience. Learning how to play bass, how to separate the bass in a mix from guitars, um, and a lot of studio ideas that I've never sat behind a console really, but now I do.
Yeah.
Behind my own, um, which is cool. So I learned a lot from that. But so we played with this guy for a while, and eventually it fell apart. I kind of got sick of we were getting bossed around, and we had all these ideas, and he didn't want to hear them. Same old shit when you're in a band, right?
Prima donna singers, man.
And they were his songs, and they had to be done his way, and so it just was like, okay, this isn't really that fun. Meanwhile, we were hanging out with Dave Sharon, and he played guitar and sang, and he could sing pretty well. He was singing like all the songs he sang. He could sound a lot like the person who
Yeah.
sang this, and he could play guitar, and he could do it while he was singing, um, rhythm guitar. So we played with him for a long time in my basement. Um, we'd have people over on Friday night, and they'd come over and sing along to us playing, playing STP and, you know, Pearl Jam and Dave Matthews and all kinds of shit. And that, and I played bass in that too, because you know how it is. Everybody plays guitar.
Yes, they do.
But how many bass players do you know?
Like one.
Yeah, or two, maybe, you know.
I don't even know if I know two anymore.
And you can't really call me one. I'm a guitar player that plays bass because I want to play music.
Because you're good at it.
Well, thank you. I put some time into it, so I should be all right at it anyway.
You are. You're good, man.
I don't suck. I'll give me that. But
so, how did you come to be into chapter 11?
So we were playing with Dave. It was getting stale. I mean, my lifelong dream was I got to play out. Now I had already done that with the other band, but it was playing someone else's songs, and I had no input really.
Yeah.
Really, I was just playing simplified bass parts because I couldn't play the shit this guy wanted me to play. But I tried, you know, it helped me, it pushed me along. But after a while, it was like, I know I can play music in a band.
Yeah.
I want to play in a band, and I don't give a fuck if they need a keyboard player. I'll play the keyboards. I'll figure it out. But I want to be in a band, and I want to have fun while I'm playing in front of people. And I wanted to play heavier music.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that was the big thing. So, Mike has always had I guess his hangout has always been Starbucks.
It's the only place I've ever known him to be.
Right. And it's exactly. Well, if you really need to find him, you can go there, and someone will have seen him within the last couple of hours, and they'll be able to tell you when he's coming back.
You know, his next refill.
Yes, when he needs that Fenty filled back up, right? So I don't know. He always hung out there, and I don't know. I stopped by there one day, and Mark was there. Mark Mullen, who was the drummer for you guys. And
we weren't chapter 11 yet. We were still Internal Explosion.
Exactly. But so when I got there, Mark was leaving, so I didn't get a chance to talk to him or anything. I just saw him leave. He was talking to Mike, and then he left. And then I walked up to Mike, and he was like, you know, hey, that guy, Mark, just asked me if I knew any bass players who wanted to be in a band. And I was like, oh, really? And I was thinking, man, I really wanted to play guitar, but okay, you know, he was like, do you want to check it out? And I was like, yeah, sure, we can do that. And I was under the understanding that you guys were really just looking for a bass player. Like, I don't know how Mike fit into that, but I think
we were. I think we were just looking for a bass player. And Mike came over.
He came over kind of as an extra. He was Mark's other buddy.
He was jamming. I don't know.
Yeah.
We must have done something because I think he douchebag back then, and I don't like people. By nature, exactly. I don't like people.
You made that painfully obvious.
So